Alexander Venuti here from Zen-Tek Coatings. Over the course of this video, we are going to cover what ratios are and how to properly use them. We will also go into detail about reduction percentages, more specifically with our top coat lines. Within this section, we will break down the advantages of using reduction percentages, and we'll explain how to use them effectively regardless of location and weather conditions that persist. To start things off, a ratio is a comparison of two or more numbers that indicates their size in relation to one another. Ratios can be expressed in any denomination as long as denominations are consistent, meaning it's improper to mix ounces with gallons or teaspoons with cups. On the right, you'll see the proper ratios and also the improper ratios. The correct way to use ratios is by using the same denomination, like ounces to ounces, as shown on the right. In this example of a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio, it can be configured in any denomination as long as the quantity of product is the same. In the first example, 5 ounces of part A to 5 ounces of part B. That is a 1-to-1 ratio. So, adding to a combined amount of 10 ounces of material total. In example 2, 7 ounces of part A to 7 ounces of part B to 7 ounces of part C is a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio, adding a total combined amount of 21 ounces of material. Now, reviewing some products that would use 1-to-1-to-1 or even 1-to-1 ratios would be the Primex, and this depends mainly on the method of application, whether it's spraying or rolling. So in the case of spraying, you would like to use a 1-to-1-to-1 mix ratio, and this is shown on the right in the little flask: 3 ounces of A, 3 ounces of B, and 3 ounces of C. This gives you a great balance and allows for some adjustability when putting through spray guns, airless spray guns, or other types of applications. Now when rolling, it's best to use a 1-to-1 mix ratio. Now going over some products are 2-to-1 mix ratios. So for example 1, 14 ounces of part A to 7 ounces of part B. This would be a 2-to-1 ratio, creating a total volume of 21 ounces. Now when mixing with our products, our top coat system, you're supposed to be mixing 2-to-1 plus a percentage of reduction, and that is percentage by total volume. So in order to get that, you would have to take the total volume of 21 ounces and multiply it by a percentage that ideally you would need for your application. Now in the example below, we did 14 ounces of part A to 7 ounces of part B, and we got 2.1 ounces, or a total of 10% reduction. Now, going over some of the advantages of using a percentage reduction. Now, reducing a mixture by a percentage grants the ability for adjustment, mainly based on the current situation. Now, as of all paints and coatings, various factors affect their ability to be effectively used. Now, by using a percentage reduction, the user has full control over their coating viscosity. And this can be used to adjust different situations that technicians may face in the field, whether it's cold weather, high altitude, lower PSI units, high pressure units, airless units, rolling, flow rate, etc. So figuring out how to choose the proper percentage reduction. In general, we recommend around 5 to 10%, but depending on the different extremes and circumstances that users may come across, you're allowed to reduce up to about 17%. And right below that is a chart basically showing around the average percentage reductions that we have come across in the field and what we would recommend in general for most people. So a brief recap of this video, we explained what ratios are, how they work, the products that can be applied using ratios, the advantages of percentage reduction, and how to choose percentage reduction based on the application.